So you have many interests and you're naturally curious to the point that you can't relate with people around you or your friends who don't know what they're interested in and they don't know what drives them, or they don't have those kinds of things that make them excited to wake up in the morning and to get going to doing those things. I can relate to that because that's how I've lived my life for as long as I can remember. I've always been curious, and recently I've been finding myself thinking more and more about focus and about where does this end or where do I go with this. So recently I was watching this video on YouTube, and this guy was talking about people who have multiple interests and how you should try to split these interests that you have into three buckets. And one of them is your money maker. The second one is what you do to unwind, so your hobbies and things like that. And then the third one is an archive where you document and keep ideas about things that you're curious about, that you're interested in trying to get into, but maybe you leave them for the future because your interest will never really disappear, because curiosities are cyclical and they always come back. If you're interested in something, at one point or another you remember about it and it will come back to you. And so it was good advice, I think, but I feel like it was incomplete because the question that should come before optimizing for that would be, what are you trying to achieve and what's more important to you? So are you trying to make money from your interests, or are you trying to optimize for being as knowledgeable in as many fields as possible, so being a multi-potentialite, if you may? And so that should essentially decide what you do about these interests and curiosities. And so, what do I mean with that? If you're trying to go the entrepreneurial route from the beginning and you want to make money from one or more of your interests, then you should obviously focus, because probably right now you don't have enough money to hire people to delegate some of the things and activities that will be involved in running a business. Because being interested in something and making money from it, which is essentially running a business, are two very different things. And running a business will have very many skills that you'll need to learn or have to be able to be successful at it. And you might not be interested in all those things. And so it would be better then to try and get your money maker, focus on that, make it the focus for the next maybe 18 to 24 months so that it can make you money and so that you can learn about business, because you want to monetize this interest that you have. And so you'll benefit from making it work and learning what you need to run a business. And also because you'll need those skills if you need to monetize any other skill. And then if and when you've made money and you're liquid now, you have the freedom to explore another interest that you maybe want to also monetize. You'll know how to delegate. You'll know what's necessary and what's needed and which parts are interesting to you, so you can focus on those, and then you delegate everything else. But you also have the money to pay for that because it's going to be costly. Now, that's one way. But what if you're trying to explore as deeply, as widely as possible? Then I think you should optimize for using these skills in a way that makes you money, because you have to survive somehow. And so one way would be to get a job that pays the bills, but it has nothing to do with your interest. So you just show up, you work from 8 to 5, make your money, pay your bills, and then use your free time to do everything else. But also, you could maybe find a job where the ability to connect dots is required, is needed even. and you'll be more and more rewarded the more things you can connect and use to solve bigger and bigger problems. And so then you won't really need to focus on any one thing unless maybe there's one or two core skills that make your job easier to do or puts you in a better position to solve these problems that you're trying to solve. Then by all means. But if not, then you try to get a job that rewards you the most for knowing as much as you can about many different things. And then maybe in your job, you can manage people who are specialists in these many different verticals because you understand enough or you have functional knowledge in each of these areas. And so you can manage a large team with many different people and get rewarded for that incrementally because that's valuable. And so I feel like you can consider one of these two ways rather than just focusing on trying to make money using these interests and the skills that you have acquired from them. You can try to think about also getting a job in one of the two ways that I've just talked about. And so think about that. Think about that and maybe write in the comments below what your experience has been like being as interested as you are in the number of things that you've been curious about. Let me know what you think about all this.